we were talking about the anime that I kind of warmed up to, which was Rent a Girlfriend. I had caught feelings for a girl that was originally not so much the best pick of sorts. She was in fact rather attractive, but she was also a girl who made fun of me because of not being able to afford name brand clothes. Really highs and lows of middle school and high school just doesn't get easy. That was around middle school that we were in the whole grand scheme of the timeline. In the anime, we had caught up to Mami, one of the times where Kazuya was reflecting on his past relationships with Mami. So in this, I happened to tie in a particular instance when we were up on the not the merry-go-round, the what do they call those things? The Ferris wheel. This was the time when the girl, what did we name her? Gully. We'll call her Gully because she was a girl bully. For lack of having a suitable name, we'll just go with that. So we had Gully that was up in the Ferris wheel, and she had the day prior, she had started treating me a little bit differently. It was kind of like due to the backhanded compliment that she gave me. Maybe something I changed and started dressing stylish, I guess. And I guess that was good enough to catch her attention a little bit. And it was kind of weird because we were up in the Ferris wheel and we were seated kind of close to each other. There were some other people in the Ferris wheel as well for the compartment. I think it was maybe something really cheesy. I didn't initiate the hand holding, mind you. I was the opposite of Kazuya, which is right here, where he kind of like does the hand nudge and, initiate the hand holding. Whereas for me, I am I'll let you guys know this now, that I am very, very much so a little bit on the slow, I guess you would say, any sort of intimacy. My hand was just like, oh man, I was catching feels, dude. I was catching feels like crazy. I was so confused because had up to this point been a bully of mine and putting me down and making fun of the way that I dress, making fun of like the jokes that I try and make in class, and overall it just wasn't a pleasant. It wasn't a very pleasant experience. I think it was just the sheer contrast of having her finally warm up to me and breaking past that barrier of, oh, there's that harsh outer shell where she's always trying to put me down and things like that. And I think it's that factor of me breaking past that and finding something a little bit tender. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but I don't know. There's something alluring and like it's intriguing in terms of like I wanted to see more and how deep and how real this side of her was versus what I had been experiencing with this gully girl from before. Throughout the day, I come to realize that maybe it was a fluke. I think it's led to a lot of the reasons why I'm very slow to go into relationships is because of what happened in my past. And it is a little bit unfortunate, but I think it's not too much of a detriment to where I'm standing right now. I mean, I always try to protect myself whenever it comes to things like that. And even worse if they happen to be a friend of yours, and then it's just like, oh, it's even more compounded confusion and layers of emotions that are just complicated. In elementary school, a friend, she was always a tomboy, but as like we all started growing up and more maturing, she started kind of embracing more of the effeminate side of her fashion sense and her styling and also her behaviors. And then eventually, of course, I caught feels because I had already a history and a decent foundation to where I was like, oh man, well, I already know such and such person and we've been friends for a while, but then you're just like, well, I can't really go past this friendship barrier. And it just kind of left me feeling where things were just kind of like really up in the air, and like you can't really do too much because you don't want to ruin the friendship, and you also don't want to lose their trust if you bring these emotions that were that seemingly developed overnight, or potentially you could have been like lying to them and saying like, oh, we're just friends, when then you come off as like, oh, are you just trying to slip in through the back door? And there's a lot of complicated factors that tie into this. And when I think of people when they say like, oh yeah, it's great because I fell in love with like my best friend and like all this stuff, I say like, man, that's almost like the stars aligning, because like you guys are friends at first and then you kind of bridge past that. I guess that's something that I fall into the category of not being lucky enough, I guess.
I make videos about discoveries and making things and self-improvement. So if you enjoyed my work, share this or a previous video of mine with a friend and subscribe plus a bell tap to know when a new video gets released. I'm the Abandoned Hero. Explore your true potential and be the hero of your own story.